Okay, thank you, Nina. Well, Risto, I used to work for the bank, and now I work for a even more traditional animal, statutory pension insurance provider. But I think there's a lot of value in what we do. Well, in the investment side, we take care about 46 billion euros of our owners' money. We are a mutual company. On a yearly basis, we collect about 5 billion euros insurance income, and we pay out in pensions 5.2 billion euros. Our customers, companies, employ about 550,000 people, and I believe that there's a lot of value in work-life data, which is with these companies. Sometimes, I mean, you need to jump into the game on the learning curve by yourself. There's technology in place which can be used. Through this, I was opening 2 weeks ago a seminar to our customers, about 500 people present, and I was using a smart wear on myself, using exactly how my heart beat, how my muscle groups are working. This comes from our customers to understand what the heavy work really means to us. So that was to understand. Another example, what our customers, the CEOs, for example, who are traveling a lot, are talking about, what is the effect of sleep? So about 26 sensors, I think, was put on myself, 10 of those into my head. And the next morning when I took this away for analyze, they asked, did you sleep well? I said, absolutely great, even though I had all this equipment on me. They asked, how many times did you wake up? 2, 3 times maybe? No, Ville. It was 31 times, says the graph from your brains. So I have a problem for the readiness for the next day and a lot of potential to learn how to release more power into this game. Okay, talking about disablement in Finland. What is the cost for the society in Finland? It's 4 billion euros on a yearly basis what comes to these work-life issues. On a yearly basis, about 18,000 people, a city of Hamina size, go on the pensions, disablement and pensions. And we have almost 200,000 people on this day in Finland with all these growth scenarios. And what if this affects our young people? There's a lot of potential to be released in this area. And one answer to this is that we have a lot of lazy data lying in insurance companies, in the pension insurance companies, what comes to the work life. It used to be so that the companies contact us and say that, could you do this one time ad hoc data run, and sort of we would understand more. Well, what we did is that this guy fishing over there, if you make a decision about disablement pension, we can go back in the history and see that, okay, around 7 to 10 years before, we can see the symptoms. What then ended up on the path, on the timeline to this disablement decision. So what we needed to do is to collect what we have on risks, what we can have on activities, to work on these preventive measures, how can we follow the pulse of all these activities done with our customers, and how can we then analyze for the customer's purposes, for the individual, maybe for the society, for better politics and decision making in this area, and get more out of this. And the data is out there. What has been done so far is that we do this once a year, maybe once in the second year, employee surveys to all the employees in the same company, the same way, a lot of questions. There's much more data out there as we do work with our digitalized systems, how we collaborate in the companies and so on, as we have the example over here. We asked the most prominent Finnish companies, big companies, with the sharpest pens, I mean the HR responsible people and CEOs, are they happy with this? No. There's so much going on. For the future, what Risto was talking about, how to go into this game, we need to know more. A short animation, what we have been doing so far.
Running a successful organization requires new approaches to measuring and analyzing employee engagement. Healthy and motivated employees boost the competitiveness and profitability of organizations. Employee surveys do not always provide a complete picture of the organization's situation. This is why we developed the continuous employee listening model. The current business environment and its requirements are in a constant state of flux. and measuring employee sentiment is difficult. Nowadays, we can use data and analytics to predict the future. This means we can also continuously update measures. The employee listening model combines 3 phases into a single approach. First, targets for the survey are set based on the organization's needs, and the measurement methods and frequency are planned around annual business processes. Secondly, data from different sources is collected, consolidated, and analyzed. Thirdly, corrective measures are identified and planned based on the data analysis. Surveys can be performed throughout the year, focusing on different themes or personnel groups. New data collection methods, such as employee pulse surveys, sensors, and network analysis, can be used to collect intricate data on and early signals of changes in employee engagement and well-being. Employee listening activities help management recognize and quickly respond to changes in employees' engagement, well-being, and productivity. Technology makes it easier to recognize and understand problems, but it is only through good leadership that this information can be converted into actions, which result in a healthy and a successful organization.
So for the time being, we have about 3,000 of our customers working on these databases on the early stages of that. This is the platform we have created. There are many means how we can collect the data, how we can combine it with the business KPIs and put it into the one box. I mean, to have the possibility to do real analytics. Company is not only one entity. It used to be so that, okay, one survey, as I said, once a year, for example, but there are very different units in place in the companies, like in Nokia, for example. There are startup units, there are growth units, there are some units which might be on the divesting path. There's creative work doing people, a lot of different measures that can be taken if we go more deeply into the possibilities the new technologies enabling. Talking about the new skills what comes to digitalized world and playing with the data, it's not enough, I mean, to have the data on plate. You need to be able to do the storytelling about the data. You need to be sharp on the business, what you really want to impact. You need to visualize the data with infographics and so on. You need to have all these skills in place to get the full impact out of the working with the data. Data itself is not what changing. If the people are using the data, then we can really move things. So what we have tried to do and will do, and we are on a learning curve together with our customers, to put the metrics what comes to the people in a work life in place. Our dream is to have that as a heavy KPI, how people are leading, the top leaders are leading their companies. You have the finance, you have the sales, you have the customer satisfaction. How these metrics correlate with the KPIs. How will we grow that to be one of the fundamentals? And that will truly then affect the people working in our companies. And through the big databases, we can provide benchmark, realistic goals for doing this. And not only for the company level, also for the society. I remind, it was 4 billion question only for Finland. Why we had this animation in English, many Finnish companies can utilize this group-wise when they are working abroad. Thank you very much.